They say time reveals all things, but I say your habits reveal who you truly are. My name is Grandpa T, and I'm glad you're here. Not because this is just another video, but because something in you chose to listen, and that matters. Today, we're talking about discipline, not the loud kind, not the kind that shouts motivational words at you from a screen, but the quiet kind, the kind no one sees, but everyone feels. Because discipline is self-respect in action. Let me tell you something most people avoid hearing. You don't lack time. You don't lack opportunity. And no, you don't even lack motivation. What you lack is trust in yourself. You see, every time you say, I'll start tomorrow, I'll go to the gym, I'll wake up early, I'll finally change, and then you don't. You're not just skipping a task, you are breaking a promise, not to the world, but to yourself. Imagine your mind as a child watching you, listening to every word you say, every promise you make. At first, it believes you, it trusts you. It says, okay, we're doing this now, but then you don't follow through. So the next time you speak, it hesitates. And after enough broken promises, it stops believing you altogether. That's where most people are. Not lazy, not incapable, just disconnected from their own words. Let me ask you something honestly. How many times have you tried to reinvent yourself? New year, new month, new week. You say, this time I'm serious. And for a moment, you feel it, that spark, that fire. But then it fades, not because you weren't capable of change, but because you didn't respect your own commitment enough to sustain it. Listen carefully. Discipline is not about intensity. It's about integrity. It's not about how hard you go for one day. It's about how honest you are with yourself every single day after. Your word is like a contract, an invisible ink, signed between you and the person you could become. And every time you break it, you don't just delay your progress. You weaken that contract until one day there is no agreement left, only empty intentions. And that's a dangerous place to be, because when you stop trusting yourself, you start depending on feelings, and feelings are unreliable leaders. Motivation is like the weather. Some days it's sunny, some days it storms. If your life is controlled by motivation, then your progress will always be unstable. But discipline is the anchor. It holds you steady even when everything inside you wants to drift. Now listen, if this message feels a little uncomfortable, good. That means it's real. So don't just watch and forget this like every other video. Take a moment right now. Hit that like button so this reaches someone else who needs to hear it. Subscribe if you're serious about becoming someone who actually follows through. And in the comments, be honest. What's one promise you keep breaking to yourself? Not what sounds good, not what looks strong, but the truth. Because awareness is where change begins. There's something I've learned over the years. People don't fail because they aim too high. They fail because they don't respect the small things. Waking up when you said you would, finishing what you started, showing up when no one is watching. These are not small actions. They are identity builders. Think of your life like a house. Every promise you keep is a brick. Every time you show up, another brick is being added to build it. At first, it feels insignificant. One brick doesn't look like much, but over time, you either build something strong or you leave your foundation unfinished. And here's the truth most people don't want to face. When your foundation is weak, everything else collapses. Your goals, your confidence, your self-worth. And then you wonder, why don't I feel confident? Why can't I stay consistent? Why do I keep falling back? It's not because you're broken. It's because you've trained yourself not to trust yourself. If someone looked you in the eyes right now and asked, "Can I trust you to do what you say?" would you confidently say yes? Or would something inside you hesitate? That hesitation, that's where discipline is missing. But here's the good news. Discipline is not something you're born with. It's something you build, one kept promise at a time. Start small, not because small is easy, but because small is repeatable. Say you'll wake up at a certain time, and do it. Say you'll work for 30 minutes, and do it. Say you'll show up, and show up. No drama, no overthinking, just execution. Every time you follow through, you sharpen your identity like a blade against stone, slow, repetitive, but powerful. And eventually, something shifts. You stop negotiating with excuses. You stop waiting for the right mood. You stop asking, "Do I feel like it?" And you start saying, "I gave my word." And that changes everything, because when you respect yourself, you don't abandon yourself. You don't disappear when things get hard. You don't make promises just to feel good in the moment. You become reliable to yourself, and something interesting happens. When you start respecting yourself, other people feel it, not because you tell them, but because you show them in how you speak, in how you carry yourself, in how consistent you are. Respect is not requested, it is recognized. Think of this. There's a man standing at the edge of a forest, dark, unknown, uncomfortable. He tells himself, "Tomorrow I'll walk through it." But tomorrow comes, and he steps back again and again, until one day he realizes something terrifying. The forest didn't get scarier. He just became a weaker version of himself. That's what happens when you keep avoiding your path. It doesn't stay neutral. It changes you. Every delay, every excuse, every broken promise, it doesn't just affect your goals. It shapes who you become. So when that alarm rings tomorrow and your mind starts negotiating, just 5 more minutes, just one more day, understand what's really happening. This is not about comfort. This is not about effort. This is a moment of truth. You are choosing between two identities, the one who follows through and the one who always has a reason not to. And listen, you don't have to be perfect. You will mess up. You will have days where you fall short. That's human. But discipline is not about never falling. It's about never staying down. My name is Grandpa T, and I've seen what happens when someone finally decides. They don't become louder. They don't become flashy. They become solid, unshaken, reliable. So respect yourself, not with words, not with intentions, but with action. Because discipline isn't what you do once in a while. It's the way you live. It's the way you prove to yourself, "I can be trusted." And when you reach that point, you don't just change your habits, you change your life.